Hi everyone. I have a few messages of the day and a union read, a quick one, so it won't be as long as usual, of late anyway. So let's go ahead first and take a deep breath. Another deep breath. You might want to send some love around the world to the children or whoever may be in need or somebody that you'd like to send love to. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings, and thank you so much for being here with me, you guys. We're going to roll the die first. And then I have the pictures of the reads. Nope, that's right. Last night I was meditating to Elena Denon did a meditation video a couple videos back. Meditation's definitely in the title if you want to go check it out. But it's really nice because it's coming from a perspective of someone who's got one-on-one connection with ETs or extra dimensionals all the time. So I figured I would try that because I wanted to connect more with my ancestry. And I was getting a lot of the horse people. And I hadn't heard much about horse people, so I did some research on other people's websites as well who are connected with ETs. And the horse people came up as 11th dimensional Arcturians, along with the dolphin people, which were coming up as more of the 5D Arcturians. But Arcturians were the first ones I was awakening with that I was seeing all the time. So that very much connected with me. But I wasn't only seeing the horse people. I saw so many different peoples. What else did I see? I saw like a Native American energy, but it felt like extraterrestrial, not like an American Indian. I saw a black gentleman with a black, kind of looked like a yarmulke type of thing with a black robe on as well. He was an older gentleman. And I saw, I can't even remember now. There's so many that flash through. But if they come up again, I'll bring them up. Let's go ahead and roll the die for the twin flames. Today is November 5th, 2021. And we have the number 4, which is also the Emperor and the Aries energy here. We have the Mercury, which is communications, Gemini and Virgo. And we have Virgo again. So there's a lot of Virgo energy here. So again, purification comes up under Virgo, as well as Gemini, communication, and the 4 of stability, building, structure, the Emperor, and the Aries energy there. So purification, and that can be the home as well. Purification of the energies in the home, and communications perhaps regarding the home or structure type of things, security, safety and security issues, so root issues. And also I was getting a lot of personal guidance to use the red, orange, and yellow to clear my wings and my hips. Not only is that covering the stomach and intestines area, but it's also the womb. So clearing out those energies, but using the root chakra energies, root to sacral to solar plexus energies of the red, orange, and yellow to really ground us really well into our bodies and clear the structural problems within our bodies as well, not just the home, but the body. Because the bones and the wings and the hips, they're all coming up right now. Is this how important it is to have that good structure, right? Because we build upon that structure. And the bones are all an organ, just like the rest of your organs. So this is the union read for today. It is 3D, 4D, 5D today. 3D, 4D, 5D, feminine left, masculine right, the bridge between them in the center, incoming divine feminine, outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energies, and the closing energies over here. It is the Syrian starseed deck. And then here is the first message of the day I did, which was yesterday. And that is the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Guidebook, the Lenormand Reverie, the Gilded Tarot, and the Kipper deck. The second read I did was this morning, and then I did a third one more recently, which is on the table now, which is this read here. So I'm going to do the three messages of the day first, in the order that I showed them to you, and then I'm going to do the union read. And so we're going to get right into it. I want to pull, what do I want to pull? I want to pull a Romance Angels card since I don't have one of my Twin Flame reads out today. We'll pull a Romance Angel card since I don't usually do this deck. It's usually on the table. See what comes up for you guys. For the general energies, that came right up. Engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. How lovely. Just make sure we have the deception card too, right? And that can just be about any deception about self. Remember, with your twin, you can't get away with not being you because they feel it. Okay, so someone is wearing a false self mask in the relationship. So is that you or someone else, or are we dealing with actually just wearing masks? It could just be as simple as that as well. And the bottom of the deck, it's let go of control issues comes up next. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. And the bottom of the deck is trust. The situation's calling for you to have faith. Let's see what's underneath that. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Remember that your connection to your twin is from within, not from without. As you love yourself, your twin gets loved. Okay, it's not a typical connection. So we have the message of the day at 11:57 last night. 11 is the Justice card, which 11's been coming up big between yesterday and today. 57 is the Three of Swords, the separation, the heartbreak, the stress of the heart, the disappointments. And the underlying energy was the Owl, time, the Ace of Cups reversed, and the message. The wise King of Cups, perhaps without time, dumped with a message or purging sealed document that was opened. The unicorn standing guard of the lamb for target practice, like the moth to the flame, the tarantula is at a crossroads between the stunned wolf and the confused owl in a who's who of who? And why have we been summoned here? Two as one swans, the Queen of Wands on subconscious journey to pinpoint the entry wound with wise birds of the community. And sudden dreams come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. In the timeline's collapse of unconditional love. A higher love of patience and balance and letting go to prepare for new life and new love, or playing hardball and dumping a load, or dumped on the wounded warrior's path, the emperor's courtship. Shh, don't tell. As the Hierophant, the mature man with a communication of infiltration, the wise Father Time, purging his emotions, pouring out his heart in a letter. The King of Cups to the Chariot and or Cancer. So the first section here is the peacock with public judgment or a public meet or at a park, with the Page of Wands inspired by wealthy man in transition. And the peacock in this deck is beautiful within and without, right? They're not someone who's shallow. They're someone who just happens to have beautiful colors, right? But they have a beautiful heart as well. The second section here is the frog and the swans, the polarized devil with high vibe couple, or a pushy mama or mama's boy, destined to make cuts, not sharing about a death, an end, dark night or transitions, or a scam about death, cold case files, or case closed, or a roll-top desk drawer, perhaps with letters in it. Swans discerning their future or their failure, the neediness and under the radar changes and ends, or means to an end, or Leo and Virgo, or death by car accident, or an inheritance left to swans, not the frog, regarding debt and failure here. The third section is the firefly, shark, and the scorpion. Inspired by shark bite and scorpion sting, the romantic Page of Cups pup there, watching Dr. Jackal dance and manifest abundant flight, or he's christening a ship. So somebody might have just bought a new boat. The Page of Cups reversed, vulnerable and shy, in the house of judgment. The shark, Jackal, Atlas, with the weight and the world crumbling around them, and the Page of Wands inspired by great fortune here. The Scorpion ignites the Raptor, or Rapture, with new information and clarity of loving, mature woman. The Empress with clarity on how to use their stinger, and the house here of mother and child, the House of Cards. A public peacock here, who is really a frog missing their swan. So here the public peacock is coming up as an alternate personality for the frog who's missing their swan, which is a third personality. Inspired to attack and sting, the Page of Cups reversed and the Page of Wands upright, Dr. Jackal and Mrs. Hyde, and again, Rapture. And I was just getting Blondie. Rapture. How's it go? Oh, I can't remember. Well, anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So Blondie's coming up as well. And that's interesting too, because the Blondies come up as an extra dimensional. So, and I don't know if that was referred to as the Pleiadians or it's separate from the Pleiadians. And by the way, that what came up in that website was that the L's. So the Elohim were coming up as the Anunnaki, and the L's were a word similar to Anunnaki, but it was different than Anunnaki, but perhaps similar energy. So the L was coming up the other day in my reads as to what that was supposed to signify, which was coming up as something different there regarding technology on Mars. And now the L is coming up as a race that's, I have to look it up, but I'll have to give that to you tomorrow. Not Anunnaki, but something similar to that. And I'll give you the website as well. So the public peacock is really a frog missing their swan, inspired to attack and sting. The Page of Cups reversed and the Page of Wands upright, Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde, and Rapture. 1235, the Hanging Man, and the Wounded Warrior. Rapture. I don't know how she did that. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think of the sound. All right, so the fourth section here is the cheetah, the oyster, the eagle, and the stingray. Cheetah clammed up as the eagle landed, plugged in, turned on, and activated the stingray. The cheetah is ready to pounce in abundant energetic exchange, tempted by the Holy Grail, conflicted by bad health or the battle of healthcare. The oyster clammed up, but the shark's world is their oyster. Oy vey. But the shark's world is their oyster, with the golden egg hidden and things looking up, with new passion for a romantic little girl or moon child and her bunny, or ordering up a child from the boy in the moon. The eagle power lady is present with a gift or tower, sudden events, epiphanies, and or sex. The Queen of Wands thief stealing their pearl and fully activated on a magic adventure of home and union, locked away without a key, turned on to the fun just to be sent inside forever, never seeing no one nice again like you, tempted to passion, explosive in union, with health conflicts with child, thief, imprisoned, or didn't get coverage and had an unexpected delivery not told about. The fifth section here is the elephant, the dragon, and the mouse. A tire blowout, perhaps, or with mouse in tow, the Knight of Cups taking a chance to expose conflicts on the journey to open doors. The Page of Swords, or message, the Page of Swords with a message of or left for dead, betrayal or pain that was destined, with the official man or fool's journey, with a hard-working Queen of Cups, and an abundant marriage. The elephant, Knight of Cups, taking a chance with a message to official person. The dragon, sunshine, exposing great pain of the Queen of Cups, slaving away. The mouse, nervous Nelly, with a choice to make on the journey of destiny to abundant marriage. At 1253, the Hanging Man and the Messenger of Truth, or the Knight of Swords. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, so then I was getting the L's. 11s were coming up. So L's were coming up as the 11s, which can come up as the horse people, the Arcturians in the 11th dimension. So now the 11s, if I say the 11s, I'm referencing the horse people like Mr. Ed. Oh, here's the word. So the Elohim that this website called the Anunnaki, that the Elohim were actually the Anunnaki, that the L's were actually different from them. I didn't write that word down there. So, the message of the day at 9:41 to 9:44, about there. The message of the day, the underlying energy, was the sea serpent, the key, the hanging man reversed, and the child. And right as I started to do this read, I was getting again the ants go marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. So whatever, you can look up the lyrics if you want. But again, there's that energy of the military coming in, but also the 2 by 2 is the 72 by 2 of the twins coming in, which is also the templating of the 144,000 and the twin flames of Mary Magdalene and Jesus as the second coming. The 944 is the hermit, and the 44 of the grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, the 4 of cups energy. It can be the Atlas energy as well from numerology. And the sacral chakra here started off the read, breaking the seal with the key to open the Christ unity and standing up for oneself, finding an escape, a way out of the chains, no longer the wounded warrior holding on to their slave chains, which was interesting. That came up because Elena Danaan always gets that message from Thor Han that, I don't know who I can't remember who she said quoted it, but it was an ET, that you know it's hard to get people to be free if they don't want to let go of their own chains. So that same kind of message was coming up here. The romantic moon child, little girl, the hermit and the moon, which is also Virgo and Cancer coming up. The ancestors are thanking you for looking into them, so looking into your ancestry. The whale, the dolphin, the phoenix, and the horse were all coming up here. So this is the morning after I had connected with the horses and the dolphins. So here the whale, the dolphin, the phoenix, and the horse came up together. The eye into creation and stretching, trying to reach your tail or your story. The whale coming up as the old ancient dolphin, and the phoenix or old ancient horse. And I was getting the very ancient tribal or American Indian energy there with the phoenix energy. It's very red and of the land. The dolphin Lemurian and the horse Atlantis reference as well as the feminine and the masculine. And then the words from the cards were coming up to be assessed. And it was coming up as, where's Waldo? Waldo, foe Norse here. So the Norse could be the Pleiadians here. But Waldo, foe Norse. So where's Waldo, the person you can't find? And here I was getting ES or EA, or an easy A, as the serpent. To see with your eyes, see with your heart, see with the Christ or unity consciousness, our pen toggling up. And again, that references a high vibrational pen or writing. But then I looked up serpent, and serp is not just a snake or serpent, but it's also a scarf and a sickle. So more energies were coming up around this definition. So it was coming up as Waldo, a false Norse, or perhaps false Nordic energy, assuming an ID of ears, nose, and throat, or the giants, and then the L's coming up here. It's also the math floor function. So the L's are also coming up as the giants. I'll see. I don't have it with me. So it was coming up again as Wa, L, E, D, which is extra dimensional, and the O of the human embodiment of source, and then the L, along with Phi, through the Christ, Phoenix, which is foe, Nix, which is get rid of, And then the horsey, which is the whore who sees, the Mary Magdalene energy of the sea of emotion, or sees times two, or sees double, or sudden events of repenting for usurping of taking another's identity, and creation coming up here. So whatever L, quote unquote, extra dimensional human embodiment L, expanding and contracting or reflects Christ, is false, and get rid of it, nix it. The whore sees with their eyes, heart, and their unity or Christ consciousness, or sees double, sudden events or repenting for assuming another's identity. The all-seeing I, which is coming up as the C of Christ, and the I coming up as the letter I of the I am, and then the IC is the inner child. So the inner child of the I am that I am and the Christ consciousness, the all-seeing I. So that was very interesting the way that played out. The whale, the dolphin, the phoenix, and the horse. The L, the extra dimensional, that's human, and L, that's phi, or expanding and contracting, or just staying in the middle and reflecting through Christ. Yet the phoenix, which that Christ energy could be false, to get rid of it. Where the whore sees the emotion, she sees double, or sudden events, or of repenting for usurping of taking another's identity of creation. Whatever L, extra dimensional human embodiment, quote unquote L, of expansion and contraction, or saying they reflect Christ, that is false, get rid of it. The whore sees with their eyes, their heart, and their Christ emotions, the unity consciousness, or sees double, is a twin, or sees sudden events of repenting in order to assume another's identity, the all-seeing I of the C of the Christ, and the I of the I am presence, and the inner child. Then at 10:19, I start the read, which is 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, 19 of the Sun, the Knight of Wands, number 25, the Knight of Wands, with commitment and the circle of trust in the loving lady with gifts and presents, to the King of Wands, rat, perhaps eating or in the teapots, the apples, and dealing with messes of a wise group of songbirds or social birds inspired to write or communicate about a ship with anchor cut and the wounded warrior lost at sea and landing at a mountain, the first touchdown on the world, complete, coming full circle with Christ and Mary, the buck and doughy mountain with some snow on the caps, a sprinkling of this and that at the poles, with Christ with the key to freedom perhaps in your creative work, being free from the cage by 33 and free from all by 2133. And then at 10:30, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the 30 of the Union, the loving lady, the King of Wands, and the group, the first ship without an anchor, which is referencing a spaceship, was coming up Mount Hood, what I was getting, and Buck Mountain. The wounded warrior comes full circle as Christ is freed completely. And Chris could be coming up there too. Tempted by the Holy Grail, dropping the facade and breaking patterns to find a way out of chains, or in other words, the wounded warrior's path as opposed to the fool's journey, and the divine feminine and the Christed divine masculine with concerns that are expected, the emperor's courtship of Ed's father, Ed is extra dimensional's father, the Godfather, and the journey of the wounded warrior's despair at 10:35, again the wounded warrior, and a turn for the better, their little boy over a message of concern, of patience, balance, angels, and a higher love of the romantic little girl. Concerns about a daughter or child that someone will get their hands on a certain message. Seals are broken and set free, found a way out from their chains of the wounded warrior that bind, going back to where they started from, to start creation. The start where they came from is creation, to the innocent little girl with her bunny. How did we get here? And where's Waldo? When did you lose your Banky or your first stuffed animal? Which is funny because my thoughts about that are my brother Dan had a toucan Sam and they took it away from him and boy was he devastated. At 10:40, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the 40 of the Page of Cups. When did someone take your innocence away? They took your blankie or your stuffed animal. The first section here is the spider, dragonfly, and the turtle. The sticky web of the mind's illusions, slowing the turtle down. Don't fence me in. The shadow polarity and the powers that be, with delays and not telling about the Queen of Wands, thief. The dragonfly that's two as one, pulsing hearts. The loving divine masculine, with admiration and perhaps a new passion for loving mature woman. And the turtle's destiny to make cuts and focus on their heart, resting, break, meditating in prayer, the 5D connection, and the 6 degrees of separation, where the 4th is the one that counts. Healthcare cuts, or dealing with illness came up here as well. There's a lot about healthcare this week. With 1046, 46 is the children hugging each other, with delays only causing the loving man to be more motivated to heal their heart. The Queen of Wands thief, and the lovers or mother, and bad health or conflicts around healthcare. The second section is the nightingale, the fire ants, and the octopus. The songbird purifies with their voice, calling out to the divine masculine about the army of ants coming to the source, with octopus teacher, arms with a mind of their own. The sweet bird, all innocent, romantic pup, wanting clarity and truth, with the wealthy man in transition or in a split. The ants targeting the wound, the storks who are nesting the dream, the golden egg, the happy families, and the rod and staff, to look back at the death, the end, the coffins, the cold case files, exposing the dark night, or the wealthy man's funeral perhaps, or under siege or attack, to cause fear in the collective. Scorpio forcing us to look at sex, death, money, and taxes, with the octopus, or 8 divisions of self-love, spiritual love, and new love, or purging well water and well wishes to expose all of it, and be happy, with sun and fun, with children and pets, inspired by unexpected income, with the Knight of Cups community, where all are welcome. Cheers. Lies from the past exposed, an inheritance to the community. The third section here is the black egg, the truth, the throat chakra, with sudden dreams come true and healing and the release from the imprisonment. The fourth section here is the peacock, the owl, the elk, and the swans, where the peacock is beauty within and without, being seen for who they are, exposing the powers and towers of the emperor and a message of infiltration. The owl, wise power lady, present with gifts of seeing what's coming in the light, dumping a load or burdens or responsibilities, and or confession to the mature man of the world. The hierophant, or freedom, changes and expansion, with the elk, perhaps a hothead or sexy adornments or red hair, on a magic adventure to emotional fulfillment and or with their happy family, freeing themselves by being in the present moment. The swans reflecting and unraveling the labyrinth to come together post-war with PTSD and looting now complete, with graduation. The room is finished or empty nest, those observing while the swans clear the layers in space. The fifth section is the lamb and the moth, the target lamb and the King of Cups in a timeline crunch, uncomfortable energies of the man with sudden thoughts of a woman. The moth to the flame of abundant energetic exchange and flow, and patience, balance, and a higher love. The wise, privileged lady of thinking of hanging out with them. And again, whenever I say this man thinking of a woman, I always get the scent of a woman. Hoorah! So then army's coming up again. The sixth section here is the firefly and the cobra. The spark and the drive or focus. The infiltrator and the atlas carrying the weight of the world. The home and the stability, the car in union, the hermit with changes and completions, and the hermit reversed, going crazy, coming out, perhaps about a judgment, and a big house, or the big house, and the community here. So it was just really 1104 is justice and the emperor. It's showing two different hermits here reflecting each other. So this could be coming up as about a judgment or a big house or the big house or a gated community. Could be coming up here as well. So it's about getting in and then the follow through. It's like a combination of people, how you complement each other. One is the infiltrator and one is the follow through. The seventh section here is the starfish with direction of one-to-one connection, a third party or social distancing at their occupation, or third party and energetic exchange as an occupation, or occupied with putting the pieces together or sowing the seeds of love. Superficial connection with open direction in need of joyful energetic exchange to occupy their hands. All right, so that sounds like a dating ad. Superficial connection with open direction in need of joyful energetic exchange to occupy their hands, right? So the devil doesn't get a hold of their hands, the devil's workshop. At 11:07, which is justice and the 7 of the chariot. So then the third message of the day, which is in front of you now, was at 2:55 to 3 o'clock today, with the elk, the dice, the 5 of cups, which is the purging card or sadness, grief, and the pathway came up as the underlying energy. The hothead or fiery or redhead of flame, taking a chance and praying on their knees for the wounded warrior's path. A gold star, the golden egg, and starfish, or ghost street, or the goal to be the star, or child star, but the raccoon with a mask on in the dark is not wanting trash anymore, or someone else's leftovers, or the gold saint, Ra, or Christ, or go stay over there, or the star, a carbon copy of 2 humans embodying Christ, the fox and the elk, all waiting to see what comes out of the egg, or the heart chakra, which Ra comes up again there, or what they have created. It's like, what did the mad genius create now? The wise social community, or large family with pushy or shadowy devilish mother, or the powers that be, are pushing the hermit's gifts to take a chance as the Knight of Cups, or an offer of love here. The Queen of Cups is reversed, the Page of Cups is upright, and we just had the Knight of Cups, so we have a lot of water energy here. They may be unaware or ignoring the Page of Wands reversed, or keeping to themselves. The Page of Wands reversed is detoxing to be with their soulmate, down on their knees praying, or a parent hoping their kids make up. The mature worldly male, or mat perhaps, or hierophant dealing with bad health or conflicts in healthcare, occupation, back and forth, taking orders and getting it done. The high priestess main female, so that was coming up as like one person has to do it all. They have to take their own orders and then do the work. And the high priestess main female with the King of Cups younger and impoverished on the wounded warrior's path. Or father and daughter both in healthcare, but the King of Cups or son is choosing another way. The first section here is the deer and the octopus. The deer one, and teacher with multiple arms or sections, or feelers out there. The dear loving lady present in the moment with gifts, and the King of Cups happy or smiley, and the divine feminine expecting or choosing a path, or watching their grown kids grow up. The teacher inspired by letter or writing present to the ship sailing, present to their ship sailing with a message to open after the chariot or vehicle or papers, or need to send mail or a package out, or dear one with an octopus's brain all lit up, writing and gazing into the distance and looking back at a letter. At 3:24 is the Empress and the Queen of Wands, the section of the lamb and the shark. Sorry if you haven't been able to hear me well. I didn't realize how far my mic was getting from my mouth. So the lamb and the shark is the bullseye and the beady eyes, the innocence of the snake and the poison apples, the vehicles to get in to see the wise birds, the hermit and the King of Wands and the Atlas ship without water, or a spaceship or plane, and the wealthy man in transition, a shark with passion. The third section here is the turtle and the frog. Don't fence me in. Grow up and become a prince, for Christ's sake. That was the energy that was coming in. The turtle high priestess with luck, with Atlas, weight, and the world, and fireworks ready to go off, or burdened by death, ending, case closed, exposed or rebirth, while the frog Atlas with burdens of manipulation, insecurity, and without the tools to manifest, home and or union, judication. The fourth section here is the mouse, dragonfly, and both are nervous about the illusion and the two hearts beating as one. The mouse with one-to-one direction, with the dragonfly, and the Page of Cups innocent with multiple faces of vulnerability. The Queen of Pentacles reversed is on a journey of despair or ungrounded when feels him in despair. The Page of Cups is trying to end the nightmare and be the Page of Wands with great fortune, or the journey to great fortune. The fifth section is the oyster and the elephant, all clammed up, and a stampede, or red eye, opening doors to the Fool's journey of union, peace, and spiritual maturity. The Page of Swords reversed with negative self-talk or rumors, or immature communication with no sleep and rising above, or awakening and coming out, the Knight of Cups community, and the King of Wands with papers to file. The sixth section here is the hummingbird and the black egg, clearing high vibe truth and speaking their truth, grounding and integrating and mastering the details of a child in transition, and coming together to release imprisoning thoughts. Inspired by unexpected income and a message of concern of a higher love. And then the butterfly and the cosmic egg, the transformation and awakening of the collective, the Queen of Cups fragile state, and the Knight of Wands committed to the collective. The Queen of Wands with her world upside down, or the divine feminine in the 5D world, and the King of Pentacles reversed. The Fool's journey to the official person, and his to her Queen of Cups slaving away. The eighth section here is the Dragon Collective top down, exposing the powers and towers, and the wounded warrior anchors cut. The conflict with the Emperor reversed on a high vibe journey where the Emperor has concerns about martyrdom and or abuse of power and or of jumping on the bandwagon. The ninth section here is the Sun, the Wheel, and the main male with conflict, expansion, or happiness, and full exposure or high vibe destiny of magic main male. Or perhaps there's also a false person here with them, imprisoned at present in an abundant marriage with romantic child or moon child, and a man thinking of a woman, a wise privileged lady, or with open space to hang out in a complete area or without judgment, like the Queen of Wands thief and their mother or mature family woman, or to hang out as the thief and the mature woman with a complete home without judgment and stability there. Enough stability for a courtship, and that was at 444. So the false person may also be manifesting imprisonment of a marriage of convenience and a child in a shotgun wedding, while suddenly the man thinks of a woman or is seeing their daughters as grown women now, and with empty house, where the Queen of Wands comes up as the thief and her mother, or she a mature or homely woman perhaps. That could be coming up as well. And it really can be any mature type of woman coming up there with the Queen of Wands, but she's coming up as the thief card. So those were the energies that came up. Let's go ahead and pull you from the energy deck. We're at 38, which is the Queen of Cups. It's 3844. That's my soul number and my life lesson number. The Queen of Cups in the 44 is the grounding, integrating, and mastering of love. And it's 554. It's going to turn to 555 in a sec. So let's see what comes up in the energy deck. So that's the energy of the 55 of the Truth and the Emperor, or the 5 of the Hierophant, and the Page of Swords, which is the message. All right, so from the energy deck, what is the energy to take away from this read today? And that came right up. So we have the 4 again of the Emperor with the happy family. And there's the Rainbow Bridge as well. And this doesn't have to be a family that has a mother and a father. It could be single parents as well. But it's just representing the stability of the happiness within a family. And then 2 more cards here want to be seen. The Cornucopia of Thanksgiving coming up. The 11, again, I told you 11 came up very significantly, as well as 111. The 11 is justice, truth, and balance of the abundance, that it should be Thanksgiving every day, giving thanks for everything we have every day, and being present in the moment, to the cornucopia of our world, the abundant world it is. And the community of the 7, which is the chariot, which is the vehicle of the feminine within the masculine ascending, and or the vehicle of ascension getting in, but it's also the community being the vehicle. Okay, the abundant community here, and giving thanks for the family, the abundance of Gaia, and the community around you. It's really beautiful energy there. And it's very much about groups as opposed to the individuals. And then, of course, an individual comes up. So the bottom of the deck is the thinking man. So it's all about the logical man, the 46 of the 6 of Cups, the children hugging each other and becoming a child again, perhaps going into their thinking man place because they're thinking of new things to create. There's crystals here too. So he's getting creative. He's going into his heart as well, getting on path, hanging out, being wise, seeing new perspectives, which is really good for the masculine there. So while the masculine is coming back into his inner child, there is happiness within the family, the abundance of Thanksgiving coming up, and the community where everyone, Thanksgiving is where everyone has reunions as well. So there's a lot of coming together this month, especially towards the end, the last or the third week of the month after we get out of Scorpio going to Sagittarius. It's a big party, right? Because everyone's so glad to be out of Scorpio because of all the difficult energies. And then Sagittarius is that very lighthearted, open to everything energy. These guys are also coming out, the 37 of the King of Cups with the 3rd chakra, again, Archangel Chamuel, the gold, which we were talking about, the red, orange, and yellow or gold energies. The yellow being more about the sacral or the solar plexus chakra, and the gold is more of the Christ energy. But it doesn't really matter because they were giving me the gold and the yellow lights to focus on this week. We have the 8 of the dance. Perhaps people have choices to make at a crossroads. That's been coming up a lot here, of indecision in the dance between the masculine and the feminine. And then the 4th chakra also coming up, which is bringing you into your heart, which is actually a more feminine energy here. So the masculine energy of the King of Cups in the solar plexus, and the feminine energy of the 4th chakra being in her heart, and the indecision between them in the dance of the masculine and the divine feminine. 38 and 37 is the King and Queen of Cups. So very beautiful. So there is some indecision there. Again, the energy of being at a crossroads. And what's between the heart and the solar plexus, right? I mean, that's where you go from bringing food into your body. The transition of being fed well. That's interesting. Right? That's a big portal, right? If we don't eat or drink, we don't live. And the spot from the heart to the solar plexus is right where that happens, right? The hiatus going from the esophagus down into your stomach. That's never come up before. Let's see what the journey of love has for you. So Thanksgiving looks like a really beautiful coming together time here, which is the purpose of Thanksgiving, but should be Thanksgiving every day. Welcoming people to the table, and the cheers energy of everyone's welcome here, the energy of being grateful for what you have in the moment, not worrying about what's tomorrow or what was yesterday, but just being very much in the moment and being grateful for that time, to be able to share time with people that you love. All right, so from the journey of love, that came right up. We have the ancient ones. 52 is the Queen of Swords, receiving the light. A lot of lights. We might be getting another blast of light from the sun. 3, 2, 1, jump. The 10 of the high vibe and the Queen of Swords. She's all about the light. And then the other heart is here. We have the underlying energy too. I'll show you in a second. So deep contemplation. The 69 is the Ace of Pentacles, which is an offer of a new life. Time, money, and effort. It is considered in the traditional Rider-Waite deck as that life of perfect contentment. So this is a beautiful offer, perhaps in someone having to make a decision about something. And this is the vortex, and it looks like a hollow underground huge tunnel, right? But it looks very calm and like like abandoned. It doesn't look like there's a cyclone going on around. It looks too calm and abandoned there. It's like, is there really a war going on outside here with the cyclone? And it's like they're not feeling it in here because this one's taking the hit. So they're saying it's like, the bad guys are coming. She says, look at me, like, shoot me, don't shoot them. And she distracts that energy away from here. And all of a sudden it becomes really calm the day the earth the day the earth stood still. That came up yesterday, I think it was too. The day the earth stood still, where all of the light was taken on by someone else so that there could be space for there to be calmness within the vortex of these unions of three becoming one. The high vibration of the Queen of Swords over here, the ancient ones holding the light, or perhaps, it's like holding the world for Atlas, giving him a break for a second in order to contemplate, right? Because this is very much like her energy over here. So let's read that. And I'm going to show you what's on the bottom of the deck too. So yin yang lovers here, there's the feminine bending over backwards within the vortex to make things work. There's the 8 of the indecision and the cloak of the 50, which is emotional fulfillment. So taking time out. These are exactly the same thing, right? Because this is her bending over backwards, right? Taking the hit. And then here's on the other side of that, the deep contemplation of huge emotional happiness on both cards. The offer of a perfect life of contentment and emotional fulfillment over here. And this could be referencing both the masculine and the feminine here in the same energy, contemplating the decision. There's the bending over backwards there in front of the ancient ones. Very interesting the way that came out. But it's all beautiful energy. And this is just reflecting the indecision from the other deck. Because this came up here like this with the indecision number 8 in the middle. And this is coming up as the yin-yang energy here, the yin-yang lover. Bending over backwards, the feminine bridging the way from the masculine to the feminine. She is the vehicle of infiltration. That's the message there. Very interesting. All right, so the first card is the Ancient One, so that's what I'm going to read to you. 52. The Ancient Ones. Your spiritual growth is now acknowledged by and witnessed by the heavenly ones that see beyond time and space into the reality of your soul. Do not lose heart if your spirituality is not fully acknowledged, understood, or appreciated by those around you in the physical world as yet. Though they may love you, it is most likely that their vision is still bound by time and space, and they cannot see into the very real gains that you have made in the subtle worlds, where all true spiritual growth begins. So the Ancient Ones reach out to you and bring this message. We see you, beloved. We honor your growth. It is real, and it's palpable, and soon it will manifest fully in the physical world. With breathtaking beauty, we honor your light. Namaste. Which is funny. I had a session today, and it sounds like what I was saying to her. The oracle brings guidance that you have taken in a leap in personal growth. If you're still testing it in the physical world, trying to translate your inner changes into outer experiences, take heed. It's only a matter of time before you see reflected back to you in your physical world what you have become within. And you will see it mirrored back to you in the eyes of those around you in sacred relationship too. Here's wishing you some sunshine the day after the rain. Here's a hug of understanding when life seems filled with pain. Here's knowing that emotion, like wind, blows many ways, and our course will seem more certain with the dawn of each new day. So make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature, be good to yourself and follow your guidance. Have an amazing day and breathe. And again. And rise and be love, guys. I'll see you soon.